Continuously buying things that you don't need is not a form of self-care. We are often told that, like, if you're feeling down, you should just go buy some new clothing, go and buy some new lipstick, just indulge in this consumerist culture. That is not the way. What if the actual way to feel better about yourself, to take care of yourself, is to be able to take time out of work to spend time with your family, is to have extended time to yourself? What if the real luxury, the real form of self-care is time? Welcome back to Live Free with Sherry, where we talk about freedom as it relates to our finances, travel, and our mindset. On this channel, we talk about ways to free ourselves from the limitations that hold us back from living our freest, truest, and most autonomous life. If you are new here and you love conversations about living freely, hit that subscribe button to tune in to future videos. All right, guys, so today we are talking about this idea of continuously spending money on things that you do not need. There was a time in my life where I used to have a little spending habit. Like anytime I would feel stressed at work or feel like I had a loss of control, I was quick to say, oh, I'm just gonna go window shop and like walk around the mall as a way to make me feel better. But oftentimes I would end up buying 1, 2, 3 things that would end up costing like $100 to $200 to $300 every 2 weeks. And this stuff added up, and I would defend it. I would say, well, you have to treat yourself. Like, you work so hard, so why not just treat yourself? I justified it by saying that I work hard, so I deserve this. But I realized that there was a pattern. It always went from me feeling stressed at work to me going to the stores and purchasing things that I didn't need, to me loving them in the moment and feeling elated and excited by them, to eventually that excitement wearing off and then going back into that cycle of being stressed at work again, and then that happening over and over and over. And the crazy thing is, those clothes actually lost their value within like 2-3 months after purchasing. When the trends started to fade away, when the clothes started to get old and tattered, and the newness started to wear off, they would be thrown to the back of my closet and eventually packed up to go to Goodwill. So it all just felt like a really wasteful and non-productive system. And it didn't fix the root issue. The theme in my life was that I was feeling stressed and overworked by my job. I felt like I had a lack of control at work. I felt unfulfilled with parts of my job. I felt overworked. I felt like I didn't have a lot of freedom in my life. And as a result, that impacted my emotions, my feelings, and I ended up spending. And this is called emotional spending. The idea that your spending is connected to your emotions and how you feel about yourself and the world around you. So I figure if you can get to a space of feeling more sense of control, more fulfillment in your life by having more freedom to do the things that you want to do, then maybe that can actually curb your spending. Maybe you are not going to feel like you need to continuously and consistently spend on things that you don't need, that you're eventually going to throw out just to fulfill that void. Because that's just a vicious cycle. You're in a hamster wheel where you can never get off. And it just leads to you continuously spending money that you're never going to get back. Continuously spending on materialistic things as a form of self-care was not really self-care. It was just a temporary relief, an opportunity to feel better and forget about the actual more pressing issue at hand, which was that I felt a lack of control and that I felt a lack of fulfillment. The consumerist culture that we live in tells us that self-care is something that you purchase. Self-care is something that is external to you and something that is tangible. Something like a new car, a new bag for your collection, a new perfume, new makeup, even though you already have tons of makeup in your makeup bag. But if you really dig down to the root cause and you realize that there is unhappiness within your life, that you are unfulfilled by your job, or you feel like there's a lack of control, then why would more things help fix that? Wouldn't it mean that you actually need to change something about your life structure so that you actually feel more fulfilled internally and as a result don't need to spend so much on materialistic things? I believe that real self-care is structural. It's changing the actual structure of your life. So the way that I approach self-care is minimizing my expenses and minimizing the amount that I spend on meaningless items so that I don't feel this pressure to continuously work in a system that makes me unhappy. My means of self-care is building a freedom fund so I feel the confidence to step away from circumstances and environments that do not serve me. Yes, going out and purchasing materialistic things and looking good is nice. I still do this at times, but I do it with intention. I'm very careful about what I'm purchasing. I don't just purchase things for the heck of it. I purchase it because there is actually a need there, not just because I was influenced, not just because I feel sad for the moment and I want it. I actually think critically, is this something that is going to help me? Is it going to benefit me at this time? Is this something that I need? Do I have this item currently in my house? And do I see myself with this item for an extended period of time? Those are questions that I ask myself when I purchase things. I want to purchase things in an intentional way, in a way that serves my long-term goals for freedom and for mobility and for autonomy. So if you ever felt like you have a spending problem, I want you to go a step further to analyze, where is the spending problem coming from? Is there an emotion or a feeling that you're trying to fulfill? Is it boredom? Is it unhappiness? Is it idle time? Is it sadness? Is it lack of fulfillment? If there are those emotions at the core of your spending, you will end up in this vicious cycle of overspending, which then ends up perpetually keeping you stuck in the very place, in the work environment, in the toxic environment that you're actually trying to leave. What if you were just able to let go of meaningless items and bring your expenses down so much so to a point that you could afford to work half the time that you're working, right? That was the hack for me. Rather than feeling like I need $8,000 a month to buy the nice purses that I want, the cars that I want, the luxuries that I want, the candle sets, the new clothing that serves me for right now but will not serve me in the long run. Instead of feeling like I need to continuously heighten my income and my stress level to buy all of these things, what if I could learn to live without those things and instead take back some of my time? The more materialistic things that you feel like you need in order to live a good life, the more pressure it puts on you to feel like you have to show up to a job that you do not like, to feel that you have to overwork. If you're able to live a life of minimalism, if you're able to live a life where you're not guided by materialistic things, you will be able to free yourself from the need to overwork to fulfill a lifestyle that you don't even like. Our system would rather encourage you to buy more things that you don't need, which pushes you further and further into this rat race, rather than teaching you how to find joy without spending money. If you've ever felt like you've lost your connection to materialistic things, if you feel like you no longer want to contribute to a culture of consumerism and waste, if you feel like you want more time and less things, then you are not being cheap. You are being intentional about how you spend your money and how you spend your time. And the reality is your time is connected to your money. They work hand in hand. The more things that you want, the more money you will need, and the more time you will often have to give away in order to upkeep this lifestyle. So let's buy back our freedom.